Yo, what's good, man? It's your boy DT3, man, and I'm back at you with another video, man. New media, notification gang. God Squad. What it is, man. Look, check this out. You know, it's funny. Floyd and Leonard always say this every time they do an interview when a particular fighter loses. They always say anything can happen on any given night, blah, 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 and all that. That's their favorite cliche marquee line, is that anything can happen on any given night in the sport of boxing. And to be honest with you, that's actually true. But it's more so true when you fighting everybody. That's what makes it even more true. When you really just fighting the best of the best, top dude after top dude after top dude, anything can happen. See, Floyd didn't fight Sugar Shane in his prime for certain reasons. I'm sure in the comment section y'all gonna give all. And Floyd didn't fight Oscar in Oscar's prime. He didn't fight Oscar when Oscar fought Sugar Shane and Ike Cortez of the world. He wasn't. Nah, they didn't get that fight, right? He fought De La Hoya when De La Hoya wasn't, De La Hoya. He was just kind of a shell of himself. And Floyd was really coming into his own in his defensive prowess when he fought De La Hoya. But he does not fight top opponent after top opponent after top opponent. Understand what a top opponent is versus a popular opponent. There's a difference between fighting a top opponent and a popular opponent. There was two different things back then. Now everybody want to talk about the popular opponents. They want to talk about them. They don't even want to fight the popular dudes no more. They just want to talk about the popular dudes. Talk about how the popular dudes is ducking and all that. And the top dudes really ain't getting no smoke. Because the dudes that's actually at the top, they ain't fought nobody. They ain't fought nobody. We say, and then say the same thing with Canelo. Hey, who Canelo be? Who Canelo? And you know what y'all say? Canelo fight, he give us 3-4 fights a year. Da, 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 da. So basically, on you Canelo fans' logic, all y'all really care about is if y'all fighter fighting. Y'all don't really care about who. Y'all just care he fighting. He giving us fights. He ain't giving us shit. He ain't giving us nothing. But based on you Canelo fans' logic, that's all marquee fighters got to do. As long as they fighting whoever, don't matter. And what's really funny is the energy that y'all got with Canelo, y'all ain't got with everybody. Canelo can fight just about any fucking body. He picking motherfucker. He can just pick. Yeah. And it's cool for y'all. Because y'all get to see him fight, 2, maybe 3 times a year. So as long as he fighting 2-3 times a year, y'all cool with that. It don't matter really who he fight. Tank Davis could do that. Y'all still shit on Tank. Tank could be doing the same thing Canelo doing. Y'all will shit on Tank. Terrence Crawford. Hell, Deontay Wilder. You still shit on that man. I don't shit on, let me be clear about my shit with Wilder. I don't shit on Wilder because of his skill set. I shit on him because of the shit he say in the media. And that's not who he really is at heart. The person y'all see in front of the camera, that's a character. That's not really who Deontay Wilder, the man who was at home was like, that's not who he is. It's not. That's a character what y'all see in front of the camera. If y'all were to watch, I think his recent interview, on his wife's YouTube channel, and he just sitting there chilling, that's Deontay Wilder. That's who he really is. Real cool, mild-mannered, southern hospitality country dude. He not all this, all loud, rambunctious. That ain't who he is at heart. That's not him. That's a character. That's a persona he putting on. That's not him. What's funny to me is Floyd and Leonard Ellaby always say that anything can happen in the sport of boxing, but yet and still, for you to be in that certain situation, you have to be willing to fight anybody. Anybody. I'm so sick of fighters saying they fight anybody, but until that anybody show the fuck up. Y'all need to understand that a lot of these fighters and promoters, they politicians now. Yeah, I'll fight him. I'll do that. Yeah, they supposed to say that. They supposed to say, I'll fight this dude. Yeah, I'll fight him. I ain't scared of him. I'll fight him. And then when it come time to actually see him, you find out it's all these excuses. See, the excuse game didn't come out. See, what's funny to me is y'all like to shit on Wilder for the excuses that he made after losing to Tyson Fury the second time. But y'all forget about all the other fighters that just make excuses to not even fight motherfuckers. Throughout the past 4-5 years, all these fighters making these excuses to not fight. Fuck about making excuses why they lost. These dudes is making excuses to not even get in the ring with each other. Like the shit with Devin Haney and Tank. Motherfucker Leonard gonna say that fight ain't ready yet. What are you waiting for, Leonard? You niggas ain't broke. Y'all ain't starving for money. And to be real, y'all know how to get the money to make that fight happen if you really hustlers about this shit. And if you could be a hustler when you ain't got nothing but pennies to rub together, I'm sure you could hustle up some shit when you got millions to rub together. But I don't want to make too much sense. I don't want to be too real about shit because, you know, niggas getting their feelings. And then they want to say, they want to insult you, say you don't know boxing, you don't know this. About, you motherfuckers are in control of what y'all do. Stop making this shit more difficult than what it is. Bottom line, y'all want the check. Y'all want the biggest check. And the cold part about it, it's not like the checks y'all getting ain't big. But, you know, we can get a little more. Or we can stretch this out. I'm telling you, all you boxing fans, the boxing world don't care about you. They don't. Your favorite fighter, he don't care about who you want him to fight. He don't care. All he care about is you getting at me or any other YouTuber or any other person that say something negative about them. As long as you doing that, you they guy or you they girl. But as far as you want to see them fight this person, you want to see, they don't give no fucks about what you want. But you the one paying them though. But they don't care what you want, even though you are the one that's put money in their pocket. Cap. Straight up and down. Cap. Tank is not finna fight no top opposition. I'm gonna tell you that right now. At the rate that Tank is going with his career, you will not see Tank really fight no top opposition. The only way you'll see Tank in a real tough fight, it'll be against an opponent that you don't expect to give him a tough fight. Like this Isaac Cruz dude. Like if he just so happened to just, which I highly doubt, but just for playing the devil's advocate, this dude comes in and he just gives Tank a lot of pressure. Even though Tank may still win, but this dude comes in and he gives Tank a lot more problems than what we believe he's supposed to. Type shit. But I highly doubt that's gonna happen. But that's the only way we're going to see what Tank is really made of, is when he's in there with a guy that either he don't think is going to do what he think is he going to do. See, when you get in there with somebody he underestimate and that person come in on their Cambosis shit. See, a lot of these fighters, let me say this, a lot of these fighters are physically good. Tank, physically good. Let's tell you the real. Tank, he's physically good. Errol Spence, he's physically good. Jamel J, physically good. They are. But mentally weak. The reason why George Kambosos beat Teofimo Lopez is not just because he was just physically prepared. He mentally was there. In his mind, he won that fight. He won that fight when the fight was supposed to happen in, I think, June or July. He had already, in his mind, I already won, I already beat him. And they kept postponing it. They kept pushing the fight back, kept pushing it back. Kambosos stayed focused. Teofimo was the one all over the place, doing dumb shit, getting COVID, just doing dumb shit. All in the videos, all in the shows. That's what T.O. was doing. He wasn't staying focused. His daddy, too. They wasn't focused. They thinking, oh, yeah, we just gonna run through Kambosos. We're gonna get him out of there. And now you got Teofimo Sr. talking about they wanted to fight 10-2 and Eddie Hearn did this, So basically, Teofimo Sr., I'm going to get back to you, Floyd, in a second. But I got to say this. Teofimo Sr., so basically you saying that Eddie Hearn robbed you because his judges actually called it right. So heck, this may have been a top rank event. Teofimo probably would have got that fight. So that just lets me know, Teofimo Sr., you corrupt as fuck. You corrupted. It's one thing to say somebody's corrupted and you really can't prove it. It's just like you got people coming up with their excuses and all that shit and justifications to justify the bullshit. But no, nigga, you is boldly corrupted. It is evidently obvious, bro, that you are a corrupted individual. Obviously. For you to say that Eddie Hearn cheated you, Eddie Hearn wasn't the judge. Eddie Hearn wasn't the judge. He didn't score the fight. And to be real, how the fuck you, man, at the score of the fight, because two out the three judges scored the first round 10-9 with the knockdown. And if it was on some like basic shit like fuck it, you get knocked down 10-8. They didn't make that a 10-8 round because the beginning of the first round you was winning the round because you were putting pressure on the fight on Kambosos. And what happened, and if you wouldn't have got knocked down, you would have won that round. So I can understand why they would call it a 10-9 round for Kambosos. But I could also understand how they could have called it a 10-8 or hell even a 10-10 or a 9-9. You know what I'm saying? So, the judges didn't cheat you, Teofimo Sr. Your son got his ass whipped because he wasn't mentally prepared. He went in there with a dumbass game plan and got starched. And I think a lot of fighters that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to be a norm in the sport. You got these fighters that ain't going to fight the top guy, but they gonna get a mandatory, and they ain't gonna prepare for that mandatory because they gonna think, oh, he ain't got this, he a UK fighter, or he a Mexican fighter, he a Japanese fighter, he gonna be some foreign fighter that ain't nobody know nothing about or don't nobody got no respect for, and then you gonna just take the shit lightly. You ain't gonna prepare properly, and that person gonna come in and probably beat your ass. And that's when we gonna start to see more of the best start to fight the best. I don't know how long it's going to take for it to get to that point, but that's how it's going to happen. It's going to be a lot of, and people say it's going to be it's going to be some Mandos. It ain't going to be no cherry, just no cherry. It's going to be some cherry picks going wrong. Don't get it fucked up. It's going to be some cherry picks going wrong, but it's going to also be some Mandos that people going to take, and the Mandos is going to be a whole lot more than what they bargained for. George Kambosos is only the beginning. Another thing I don't like that's cap is how they prove that. Like, I'm gonna make another video for that because that's a whole 15 more minutes right there, and I ain't trying to be doing all that. But Floyd Leonard saying that anything can happen in the sport of boxing. Yes, when you fight everybody, when you fight like Anthony Joshua, when you do those type of things, when you fighting top dude after top dude after top dude, big name after big name after big name. Yes, anything can happen. You will lose. Not you will. You will. You can't beat up everybody. You can't. When you fighting the best dude at his best, chances are you may lose. And Floyd didn't fight a lot of dudes at their best. He didn't do it. He fought a lot of dudes past their prime, past their physical prime, past their mental prime, where they mentally, physically in the greatest condition. He fought dudes when it benefited him. So that rule don't really apply to him like it do everybody else. Another thing that also saved Floyd is his work ethic. He worked really hard. He trained really hard. He stayed in the gym. He was a gym rat. So that was also a credit to him and why he was great in his career. But he also handpicked his opponents that were tailor-made for him to beat at that particular time in his career. So it is what it is. But Tank is not finna fight top dude after top dude after top dude. So that whole little anything can happen. Yeah, he's saying that in interviews because it sounds good in interviews. But he ain't finna put Tank out there like that to where anything can happen to him. He not finna do that. You know why? It's too much of a risk. It's gonna fuck up the bag. We don't work harder. We work smarter. And doing that is not smart. What's smart is you go up, you get these regulars and these super belts, and you get them in multiple divisions, so you can say you are a multiple division champion. You get your money up. You figure out how to make your ends and means outside the sport of boxing, to where you don't need the sport to make money, to where now that you're making all this money outside the sport, you're not gonna be hungry to fight no more. That's why Tank told you, I'm not trying to be doing this forever. And I bet you Tank is not gonna fight in his 30s. He's not going to be no 32, 33, 34, 35-year-old. But he ain't going to, I'm telling you. I'm not saying that to shit on Tank. I'm saying that the way he's going about his life and his career, he's not trying to be out here fighting in his 30s. In his 30s, he wants to be, from what I can see, I could tell, he just want to be with his family, you know, living his life. He didn't have his box career. He did that, and now he's moving on, take care of his family, his girls, and all that shit. And I don't knock that. But like I told you, these dudes don't love the sport. These dudes don't love it, because when you love the sport, you're doing it well into, you know what I'm saying? But these cats don't love it. They just doing it for the money. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if you're doing it because you love it and you get money out of it. But it's a whole nother thing if you're just doing it for the money. Because once the money ain't there, or once you get more money somewhere else, you going to stop doing it. Real rap. But Tank is not finna fight nobody that's a real risk to him. You're going to have to catch Tank on a bad day. Meaning he underestimated his opponent. He took his opponent lightly. He's not taking Cruz lightly. That's why I believe he gonna sleep that nigga. But if he take any of his opponents lightly, they gonna get him. If any fighter take an opponent lightly, they gonna get you. And that's just what it is. But like I said, it's easier for you to say something pertaining to a particular fighter that they did when you didn't do it. I don't want to hear, oh, he was a dog early in his career. But I'm talking throughout his career. Did he do that? Did he fight the best? Floyd has never been undisputed, ever. 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 So you think in his right mind he's trying to promote any of his fighters to push to do that? Not really. Not really. You can't really preach to somebody to do something that you ain't did like that. You can't really talk shit or tell somebody some shit that you ain't never did and think they're gonna take your advice. You know what I'm saying? That's like me trying to figure out how to do more peekaboo style. I'm not a peekaboo style fighter. I'm a slick fighter. I'm a slick boxer. I'm not a shoulder roll dude, even though I can, but I'm not, that's not my thing. I like to be slick, slip, make you miss. On some sweet pea shit. I be on my little sweet pea shit for real. And I use my shoulder roll like if I know you overly committing to your offense. Then I'll shoulder roll and bait you and do all that shit. But 9 times out of 10, I'm just trying to be slick and make you miss and tire you out and then turn up once you tired. That's how I fight. That's how I box. But Tank is not finna fight no top marquee dude. Y'all can kiss that bye-bye. Ain't no Teofimo, ain't no Josh Taylor, ain't none of that. Nah, let that go. It's not gonna happen. They're gonna talk about it, but it's not going to happen. You gonna hear about fights. You gonna hear fighters say, I'll fight this dude, I'll fight that dude. You're going to hear that, but no one is actually going to do it. DT3, NBBC forever. December dedication. Salute to you. 100.